Hey there y'all, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. We do appreciate it, you guys know that. Tonight we're going to do something a bit different. And I do say tonight because obviously you guys know I'm getting used to a new work schedule. So we are going to be inside because it's dark out. But you guys will be getting this a day after I filmed it. Now, over the weekend, I spent a lot of time playing a game called Starfield. It's a new sci-fi game that's out, and yeah, I know most of you guys are not here for video games, sci-fi, any of that kind of stuff. But I saw in there this weekend something that is somebody's vision of food of the future. It's at about 300 years from now, so obviously that's what food's going to look like. I'm going to see if I can get ahead of the curve and make some of it tonight. Stick around and see how this turns out. Be right back. Alright, so like I said, in this game they've got a fast food restaurant that's called Chunks. I'll throw an image up here if I manage to. And basically, all of the food is cubes. So that's our challenge for tonight. Now I'm not going to make everything off this menu. If this gets enough views, if enough people like it and are interested and comment about it, I'll try to do the rest of them. But the rest of them get really tricky. So I'm going to do the easy ones first and see how those turn out. Let's get started, see how we do. Alright, so the most important thing when everything's got to be a cube is a cube. So I've got a cookie cutter here that hopefully is going to be our basis for the size that everything is going to turn out tonight. Now then, I'm going to start with a really super easy one here. And they do a cubed potato. So I'm gonna start out with a real easy one, I hope. And don't worry, I will take the rest of these pieces that are left and make use of them. They will not go to waste, I promise you that. There and there. Go ahead and measure it that way to even it up. And there we go. Item number one's done. I'm going to go ahead and make one more of those just because. There we go. And like I said, the rest of this is going to get used. I will chop that up and it's going to be a side dish for tea tonight. So I'll go ahead and get that out of the way and we'll move on to item number two. Alright, moving on to the next item. And I already know that we're going to have a couple issues with this one, but I'm going to do the best I can. It's grilled chicken. Now then, what's the issues that we're going to have? Well, first off, my chicken is not as thick as it is big. So, and don't worry, like I said before, I'm not going to let the rest of this go to waste. But, I mean, short of having an industrial fabricator to squeeze this through, which is what I'm assuming that they're doing 300 years from now. We're going to do our best, aren't we? There we go, that's mostly a cube. I think it's about as good as we're going to get, because when we move into the rest of this, although we can square it off, it's just not, unless we maybe stack them and call that another cube maybe. I don't know. I haven't quite worked out how to make square chicken yet. I'll save the rest of that for what I do next. I'll go ahead and clean up, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, we have cleaned down the board, and the next one's going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get the flavors for it together first. So we've got some teriyaki, and yes, I did go ahead and pre-pour these just to speed us along a bit. I have some Chinese 5-spice. I have some, well, they're listed as black seeds, but they're caraway. And I've got some garlic, and basically all of this together is going to be my Mongolian mix for my beef. There we are. Now then, let me go ahead and open up this beef. They've changed the packaging, and instead of being in a container, it's just in this kind of plastic wrap now, which, I mean, I'm sure is better for the environment, but it's a lot harder for my YouTubing. So, I don't know, is that a fair trade-off? Who can say? I'm sure someone can say, but if I say, I'll get told I'm wrong, so I won't say. How's that? We're going to go ahead and mix this up. And yes, I could have gotten a bigger spoon, but since I had used this to mix everything previous, I just ran with it, and I am regretting that now, the longer this takes, as I keep talking to you. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn that out on our board. There we go. Now then, I'm going to grab a glove for this next bit, because I think it could get messy. And I'll say, like I often do, I don't think most people need gloves in their kitchen, but when you're YouTubing and filming what you're doing, it just makes it a lot easier to not be running to the sink every 5 seconds. So, I'm going to go ahead and start out by just actually using the cookie cutter like a cookie cutter. I'm going to pack in all of that extra. Compress a bit more down into the top. I'll pull off our excess there. And then the trick is going to be getting this out without losing our shape. I think actually this might turn out to be, this and the potato might be the best ones. Cut into that again. Tuck in here. fill up. And out we go. Look at that. Now, the ones that are in the game also have like some white seeds on top of them. So I have some sesame seeds as well. I'm going to go ahead and just dash those on. Like so. And I will leave the bottom empty, just because I feel like it, really. I figure that these multi-planetary conglomerates in the future, they'll cheap out any way they can, right? So why put seeds on the part that you can't see before you buy it? Alright, I'm going to make a few more of these each, and then we're going to cook them up. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got a skillet nice and hot. Now just to go with the imagery a bit, I'm going to roll the potato in just a little bit of pepper, because in the image it does have a bit of a kind of a color to it. So I've got some pepper in here, and I'm just going to kind of, there we go. Alright, so we're going to put these in first. And we'll go ahead and throw a couple bits of the chicken in there with it. And basically what we're going to do is make sure that these don't stick. They're going to spit at us a bit. And we're going to roll them onto each side, which should be fairly easy because they're supposed to be a cube. And just make sure that they cook as evenly as possible. Now I do know in the game that the potatoes are listed as baked potatoes, but I really don't think a multi-planetary fast food joint would be that concerned over factual labeling. So we're going to go with this and see how they turn out. Now I'm going to keep turning these, and I'll cook off the rest of the chicken, and I'll get back with you in just a few minutes when we do the beef. Now then, just before I take these first ones out, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn it down a bit more because it's still spitting at me. I'm going to transfer these onto a silver tray, and then these are going to go in the oven for a few minutes at the end to finish off. Now that we've got a nice kind of sear on them. So, there we go. And then I'll be able to bring them all out of the oven at the end and show you. But for now, I'm going to do the same thing with a couple of the beef. And I think these are going to be the one of these items that actually I might ever make again. Now I do have one more idea to try, but I'm not expecting it to work, so I'm saving it to the end, and it can be a little bit of a blooper for those that stick around. Please do stick around. You'll get to enjoy me looking bad, which I'm sure you'll love. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish these off, get the rest of these cooked, and then we'll be back with our bonus. Hey y'all, just a quick pop in while I'm doing some editing on some videos here, to remind you that if you are interested in the recipes that I am posting on the channel, I am now posting those to a Patreon. The link is below in the description. So for $1 a month, you can go on there, you can get all the recipes, you can chat with other people on there. I'll make sure that I do respond on there. Also, if you're interested in the tools that I'm using on the channel, those are also all down below. You can get those on Amazon, no extra cost to you, but it does mean that you are supporting the channel. And by all means, I do say often, barbecue's expensive, guys, so I do appreciate any and all support you guys can give. Thank you again, and I'll let you get back to the video now. Alright, so these are ready to go in the oven to get finished off. And while those are in, I'm going to try one more that I already know is going to go badly. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out by putting a cube into our pan. And I'm going to drop a bunch of shell in there, of course. I think it's all at the bottom, so I'll be able to get it out at the end. We'll see, maybe. But we're going to see if we can make a cubed egg. I'll come back to you and let you know how it turns out. Alright, so I've given it a minute or so, and what I've done is I've kind of just started sliding my spatula under it to the point that I can get it to move around a bit. That tells me that the bottom has kind of sealed itself. Now, what I need to try to do is somehow or another flip this over. Because I think it's too deep to cook. So I'm going to take some of this oil and splash it into the top, kind of like you would with a sunny side up or something like that, to start to seal the top a bit. And hopefully that's going to be enough that it's not a complete disaster whenever I go to flip it. And it's a complete disaster when I go to flip it. That looks like it was starting to work. We do have partial cube. I might give it one more attempt and see how it goes. Alright, we're going to give this one more go and see if we can make it work. Right, I managed it without shell that time. That's a better start, at least. I'll be back in a couple minutes once that's had time to settle. I do notice that I splashed a bit more, but we can always trim that off if this works. Right, although I would never recommend it, I've done a lot more splashing of the oil this time. I think this is the only instance I would ever say to do that. And I wouldn't even say to do it now, because of things like that. I'm going to go ahead and try to flip this now. Right, now that worked a lot better. This might actually not be a blooper after all. Just trimming that outer edge. Right, we'll give that a couple minutes and we'll see how it turns out. Right, so I've gone ahead and gotten this out of the pan. Now I'm going to just slide the knife down the edges here to break it free. Alright, now, and look what we've got. We have, with a little bit of trimming, we actually have a square egg. Now, how's about that? Alright, the rest will be coming out of the oven in about 5 minutes, and I'll let you see what we end up with. Right, we have come to see our chief taste tester. Now I do know that there's one of these that you're likely going to decline to try, but I wanted to let you see it at least. Okay? So you've not seen the video game that I've based these on, but you know the concept.
You've told me about it, yeah.
So,
What am I declining to try? Just tell me what they are, please, before I start.
you've got Mongolian beef.
Okay.
You've got chicken in the middle.
Right.
And then on the end, you have cubed potato, and you have square egg.
No.
I figured that one was a no. That's what I said.
This is a bit... top black bits.
Pepper.
You've cooked that well. You have cooked that well now. There's nothing unordinary about square potato.
No, it was the easiest of the ones that was on there. I did start with it because of that. Chicken was a lot trickier to get square.
I'm not sure it's a big success.
And
Square chicken.
And the beef was square when it went into the oven, but shrunk out of square in the oven. So, we have so-so success. I don't have industrial futuristic machines, though.
You don't need it. I know what you needed to make that work. I'll tell you in a minute.
But you can at least see what the flavour is of the
chicken.
Chicken, yeah. Yeah, the chicken is flavoured like chicken, yeah.
Chicken's flavoured chicken, potato's flavoured potato.
The beef has actually got a bit more to it. It was the most complex of the recipes by far. So in game they advertise it as a Mongolian beef.
Okay, so what seeds you got on it? What seeds?
It's sesame seed.
I'm not saying I like it because it's square. Oh, it's quite nice.
Yeah, I think of them, that's the only one that I might make again.
Not square, though.
Possibly not square. I might make them as bowls, but yeah. Like a meat.
It's only all shape.
Well, no, I was thinking like a meatball. Yeah. I was just saying, rather than squaring them off, I might make them again as a meatball.
Like thin strips of steak.
Well, that would be back to what it originally was, which is Mongolian beef, which is normally thin strips of steak.
What do you say?
That wouldn't be the futuristic version that this is.
I think your square's the best. Oh, goodness. Egg is the best square. And your potato. But there's no way I'm going near that egg.
No, I didn't think you would, but I thought it
Yeah,
was...
but have you explained why? Because I don't really eat eggs.
Yeah.
Not like just an egg.
Alright, so overall, give me a success rating out of 10.
Well, your meat's not square.
No. I got it close.
I don't know.
If you look, it's close.
Yeah. Sorry, you know I'm honest.
The chicken's not thick enough to be square. I knew that was going to fail whenever I was doing it.
But I will say, because it does take, like a lot of times on TV when you see them doing thick chips and stuff and they're going about being cooked all the way through, those are cooked all the way through.
Mm-hmm. So out of 10.
For squares.
For overall. Overall success.
I don't know how you've actually cooked them, so... Because you know what I'm going to say. They've been in the deep fat fryer.
No. They've been in a frying pan. And the oven.
Okay. Success. 7.
I'm happy with a 7. Alright, say bye-bye then.
Bye-bye then.
Alright, so just before we wrap up, I've gone ahead and cut into the egg so that you can see how the inside of that's turned out. I actually think that's been quite successful. And yeah, let's just see. I mean, I assume it's going to taste like egg. If I didn't drop it everywhere. I got most of it in my mouth. And yeah, it tastes like a... It tastes like a cross between a fried egg and a hard-boiled egg. Really nice, actually. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for tonight. And hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you like this kind of odd, kind of different video, comment below and let me know. If you're not interested in this kind of thing, comment and let me know that as well. That way I know that if I get one of these wild ideas again, I'll know if I should